Good day, everybody. I hope that you're well. I hope that, again, you're ready to start another vibrant week. I hope you're looking at creating transformation, impact, and that your environment will change because you're there. Today, we're going to be talking about looking beyond you. Yes, looking beyond you. And that implies that perhaps you're looking only at you, within you, and for you. Today I want us to talk about looking beyond you. And it's interesting that I was having a conversation with a very good friend of mine. And we were reflecting on the natural human nature. You know, just the nature in which we are born is to go on survival mode, looking at my needs, looking out for yourself, looking out for your interests. That's just the default, default state. We were laughing and we were talking about how children behave when they're born. Innocent people. That's how we concluded that it's probably just a natural state of being to have a default state of looking out for oneself. When you look at babies when they're born, they're all sweet and cute and nice. They're innocent. Nobody has had time to train them, to talk them into behaving a certain way, or to look, at things a certain way, or to be selfish and look out for their own interests. They're babies. I want to start there at the base of this conversation. And we were laughing and saying, isn't it interesting that some women have experienced that when they're breastfeeding, their babies will be biting very painfully on the nipple. And it is so painful. And they're innocently looking up with a happy smile as they bite painfully. I know a lot of moms who have been there, who have breastfed children, understand what that looks like. And yet, they're enjoying the milk, the experience at their comfort. Even though part of that process could be giving some discomfort or uncomfortable for the mother. But there is just that default position that as long as it's working for me, it's great. They even smile. And in the meantime, you're breastfeeding and cringing in pain, Let's look at our default positions. You find half the time people saying, if you ask people, what do you want? What do you want for yourself? What do you see for yourself? 80 to 90, if not 99% of the things they will respond or say or put down will all be about themselves, will be for themselves. It'll be for me, for me, for me. And today I just want to look at a very basic need. What do you want for yourself? And a lot of people will answer very simple answers on the basic of I just want to be happy. I just want peace. I want joy. I just want my basic needs met. I just want to talk about base. I'm not looking at all these big things that we're looking for. I just want to talk about base, the base. And then let us have this conversation from the point of that just base, that basic setting. You want peace, you want joy, you just want to be happy. If then we press it in further and we ask, okay, so what is stopping you from being happy? What's causing you not to be happy? What's causing you not to be peaceful? Again, if I look at all the answers that come out of that, you will find things like this. My husband is not doing this. My husband is saying that. The other day, my wife, I thought this and this, but she is this and this. My wife was speaking to me this. My child didn't do this. My mom did this to me. My father was not available for me. It's going to just be about other external parties or things that are causing or influencing their state of happiness, their state of peace, their state of joy. Why are you not, having your basic, my boss, my work, it's somebody else out there that's triggering your state. That would be 99%, over 90% of responses. The blame, the causes and the reasons are external. People don't stop to think about, and what are you doing for your own happiness, for your peace, for your joy, for your breakthrough. In fact, I find sometimes even in religious circles, people even blame their issues on their pastors. My pastor said he would be praying for me. It's not praying. In fact, since he or she was praying for me, things have gotten worse. Again, somebody else is causing your reality, and you're blaming somebody else externally. But we want to talk about looking beyond you. If you could show up always and ask yourself, what am I doing to create joy in my environment, to bless others? And we're not making it about others, because you must love yourself. You must pour from the fullness of what you're carrying in order to have a positive impact around you. So I'm by no means negating the responsibility to look at self, to care for self, to have self-care, to take care of yourself. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about your default position that is affecting the environment around you, including your immediate environment. If we could show up in our areas of influence, thinking beyond me, and being an influence for you and others, then the world would be a definitely better place. If you show up in any environment that you're in at work with the intention of making life better for everybody who engages with you, anyone who interacts with you, if you shift your mindset and your state to be able to be making sure that you're intentional about what you're picking and pouring into the spaces that you're going into, by default, the world will automatically be a better place. And you will be in a better state of joy, of peace, of fulfillment, of contentment. Because you're moving the responsibility from outward in and taking it from in to out, which is always a better state to be in. If you want to go into politics, you're saying, oh, everybody's fighting me, everybody doesn't like me, everybody is against me, everybody. What are you bringing into the environment? What solutions are you bringing? What do you want to draw? Is what you're drawing from people just for you, to elevate you, to position you, to take you higher, for your own selfish gain, so that you can use the position to abuse resources, to amass wealth for yourself, to, fulfill something in your ego? What are the reasons? Is it all about you? Because then you begin to release only toxic things, toxic results, and you attract more pain into your life. And then you'd be sitting and asking yourself, then why are you in that state where you're not having peace, no joy, no happiness, and in a cycle of continuous pain, stress, lack of fulfillment? I tell you, the minute you change that disposition, your internal state, and go from inside to out, where you have already predetermined and set your internal state to be positively looking at enriching yourself positively, at pouring into yourself good and bringing out good for others, bringing out what can change other people's lives, bringing out blessings to others, automatically, whether people appreciate it or not, whether they recognize it or not, your motives are always pure, and you will continuously have peace at night, because you know your motives are pure. You know what, when you show up in any space, it's because you want to bring good. It's because you want to bless. It's because you want to transform. It's because you want to influence for the better. It's not always about you. It always takes you back to questioning your base and your motives. If they're always pure, irrespective of how the external environment is responding, you will guarantee that you have happiness, you have joy, you have peace, you have all the things that you're intrinsically looking for inside of you. I want to challenge each and every one of us, me included, that every single moment, wherever it is we are, whether we're in our families, let us begin to ask ourselves, how are we contributing to the betterment of the people around us, of our family members, of our loved ones, of our children, our family, our friends, our colleagues, our clients, our staff? How are we showing up to make their lives better, to inspire, to release goodness into the atmosphere that empowers people, that makes the environment better than you found it? How are you showing up in a way where you're not selfish, inward looking, just coming to draw and draw and draw from the environment, draw from people, degrade the environment, toxify the environment, expect people to be swooning all around you, to be answering to you? You just are even putting it as an entitlement that you must be happy. People around you must make sure the environment makes you happy. You're setting yourself up for misery, for lack of contentment. This thing that you're always chasing, you will never find it. Because the more demand you put on the external environment to be able to make you feel important, to be able to appreciate who you are, where you're asking yourself, do they know who I am? I just walked in, nobody recognized who I am. How about you start to influence the environment that even just by default, people will start to understand who you are, enjoying who you are, respecting who you are, honoring who you are. Because when you show up in an environment, the environment changes. But a lot of people want to enforce rulership. They want to enforce respect. They want to force and enforce honor. You cannot force and enforce that. Create impact, bring transformation, bring love, bring care, bring concern, bring excellence. Automatically, everything around you begins to shift. Okay? So what I want us all to look at is look at things beyond us. Look beyond you. Show up with a perspective that is about service, pouring out, transforming, leaving the whole place better. Sometimes I'm driving and I see, people in cars in front of me chewing sugarcane. In Africa, we chew sugarcane, literally. We chew it, and when the juice is done, it has a debris. And I see these people throwing it out. And I'm asking myself, when you keep throwing this out, who is coming to clean after you? How are you empowering and taking care of your environment? How are you replenishing the environment? How are you leaving it in a better state? So that 10 years, 100 years later, when, we have done things that have degraded the environment, and the environment has shifted in a way that it's not producing for us. There's no water anymore. The lands are arid. We've not planted trees. We have no rain. Who's going to be complaining? Who's going to be angry and miserable? Whom are we going to blame? So if we are starting to look beyond us today, in every area we show up, we begin to multiply. We become good stewards of every resource, the human resources. Our families are resources in our hands. Our children, our loved ones, our friends. These are resources that God has given to us to nurture and to live in part and impact for better. How are we showing up to our colleagues, to the people that God has brought into our environment? Are we inspiring them, protecting them, praying for them, loving them, and caring for them in a way? And just automatically, love comes to you. Care is poured into you. All those things. But most people are making a demand for people to care for them, for people to love them. And they begin to complain, this person doesn't love me, this person doesn't, nobody cares about me. I'm here and nobody cares. Just reverse it. Love yourself, care about the resources, but pour it out. Only automatically it begins to pour into you. So my assumption, and probably also my expectation, is that everybody who's listening to this conversation today wants better for themselves, wants good for themselves, wants to live a content life, a fulfilling life, an optimal life full of joy, full of peace, and all the good things we desire. I challenge you as you begin your week and the days and months ahead, and as you move forward with your life in every dimension of your calling, I challenge you to look beyond you. Be blessed.